Hi again. So good morning, Stampers. I'm Tracy Frith. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta. And I was just on sideways, so now I think I've got myself straightened out here. And today I'm going to be making a little treat box, a little treat holder, not really a box, using the Pansy Patch, Sweet Pansy Patch dies. I'm actually just using the dies for this one. So I'm going to be using, this is the die set, and I've got some of them out, so I'll show you the ones that I have out. So it's all the little pieces that you need to make pansies with. Those are one of my favorite flowers, so when I saw this, I jumped on it when it first came out last year. So these are the little pieces that you use. It looks a little bit intimidating, but it's really not that difficult. So those are all the pieces that I need. So I'm going to use various colors of cardstock to punch those out with the die cut machine. And I've actually done all that ahead of time because it's a lot of passes through my Stampin' Emboss machine. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather today. I've actually been home the last couple days and probably a few more based on our COVID restrictions here. I woke up yesterday with a sore throat, so it's a little bit worse today. But that seems to be so far all it is the sore throat. All right, so we are going to be making, first of all, I'll show you this is our little treat holder that we're making. So it's a little pot with a pansy that holds a little treat. So when you pull it up, the stem holds your, I put a Lindor in. The original one that I saw, and that was done by Brenda Quintana of QB's Quest. You want to look that up. And I pretty much just copied what she did. I loved it, so I didn't really see much of a need to change it. She used Ferrero Rocher inside. But I thought I don't have any of those at home, but I do have Lindor, so I would see if it worked, and it was just fine. It's a little bit tippy, the pansy, but other than that, I think it's great. All right, so as you can see, I've got all my pansy pieces here. So I'll pull this one back just so you can see. So your pansy base is going to be these pieces. So I punched two of these little purple ones. And I used fresh Freesia. This is our basic white. Oh, good morning, Leanne, and good morning, Mom. And then there's a little border around the edge, so you can see it better on the white. So that's the little border there. And then there's one for each of the other pieces as well. And you could do a contrasting color here if you want. I'm actually going to show you another project that I did a little bit later on that shows the contrasting version of the flowers. And then for the leaves, there's an outline die here and a detailed die. So the outline punches the leaf shape, and then the detail does the veining. Okay, so I did two of those. And then the last is this little tiny circle. You could eliminate that and use a gem or a jewel in the center if you wanted to. Oh, sorry, I missed one piece. I missed his little beard. So I did that out of Blackberry Bliss. So this little piece is done from Mango Melody. This one is Blackberry Bliss. Fresh Freesia and Basic White are those ones. And then the leaves are Soft Succulent. So that's all the pieces that I need to make the pansy. I'm just going to put those aside. The stem for the pansy is also Soft Succulent. So this piece is 3/8 of an inch by 7 inches. And my little basket I've used for this one, I used the Pansy Patch. This one was an old piece of gingham designer paper that we had a few years back. And while I was playing with it, I wanted to pull out that. So, but the pansy, what's it called? I think it's just pansy paper. Pansy Petals designer paper, which has all of these. And I'll show you a little bit of a trick with this as well after. Has this 3 sheets, I think, that has this gingham on the back. So that's the front part, that's the back side. I'm going to be using this one. All All right, so for this, I'm going to bring my Stampin' Cutter machine in, or Stampin' Cutter platform, I guess, in. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the dimensions. This one, this gingham piece is 2.5 by 5. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score it at 1/8 of an inch on the short side. So this is the side I'm going to put against my measurement, or against the side. And you could do this with, if you have the scoring tool as well. I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to say Stamp and Score, but I could be wrong on that. I'll have to look that one up. You could do it there as well. So 1 1/8 of an inch. So you're basically scoring a line down the long center of this. I can't, oh yeah, it looks like you can see what I'm doing here. Perfect. All right, so that's the starting point. And then you're gonna turn it the other direction. And on the, so you've now scored it down, not really the middle, but down the long side. You have a shorter side, or a smaller side, and a little bit bigger side. I don't know if you can really see it on here, but my score line is right here. Okay, so it's not in the center of my piece. So you're going to take the shorter side, and that's where you're going to do the rest of your scoring. Okay, so I'm going to go this direction in, and I'm going to score here at 1 1/8 again. Now, when I do this, I'm going to kind of get a visual before I start of where my original score line is. Okay, so it is on this ruler. It is at 1 3/8. So I'm going to take my scoring blade and I'm going to score, and there is a little notch on the front of the blade that you, after I do this, I'll show you. So I'm going to score across until that little notch lines up with that 1 3/8 mark, or with my original score line. Okay? So I don't know if you can see that here. There's a little line here, and there's actually one on all 4 sides. I'll put it up a little bit more there so you can kind of get an idea. So I don't want to score all the way across, just up to the line. Okay, so that's the first one. So 1 1/8 is the first one. Then I'm going to move it up to 2 1/4 and do the same thing. Find my little line there. Let's go up to the line, and it's okay if it goes a little bit over. And then 3 3/8 is the next one. So there's 4 times you're going to do this, four scores. And the last one is at 4 1/2. This one I'm going to look more on this side because my paper is not hanging out the end anymore. And it might not be easy to see on camera, but it's fairly easy to see in person where your score line is. All right. Okay, and I think that's all I need that for now. Now I'm going to go in with my scissors, and on one end you have a really tiny little rectangle. So I'm going to take that rectangle and I'm just going to cut it right out of my paper. It's coming right off. Okay, so that piece is gone. So now I have one that looks like this. Now, the other 3 score lines that I did, I'm cutting up just to my original score line, so the one that goes across the long end. So I'll end up with 4 little flaps. I cut up, stop at that score line, and that's where, even if you did score a little bit past the line, you're going to stop at the line when you cut anyway, so it's not really going to make any difference. As long as you don't go up the whole side of the paper. And I agree with you, Leanne. This is one of my favorite sets. I almost to the point of I hate using it because I don't want to waste it. And yes, Leanne, I know I need to take the plastic off my cutting board. I'm really bad for that. I love to leave the plastic on and keep it like new. I don't know why. Just a weird thing I do. All right, so I've cut 4 little flaps in my designer paper. Now I'm going to take my bone folder, and on the other side, so the side that I didn't score at, I'm just going to go across and give it a little bit of a pull with my bone folder just to give it a little bit of a curve. A little bit at this end as well. So it's easiest to do that from the side that's not cut. And you don't need to do a ton, just a little bit of a curve, okay? Now, from there, I'm going to put some glue on this little flap. Now, for the one I did yesterday, I did use the liquid glue, the Tombow, and it worked totally fine. I'm going to try this morning, at least with this piece. I might use the liquid on the other parts. Some tear and tape. With this one, I just kind of roughly measure about how long I want it. And I'm just going to put that on the edge. Make sure I'm doing this the right way. Yeah, okay. So the design that I want on the outside, that's where I'm going to put the tape or the glue. Okay. Then you can take that off. I got all of it, not just the edge. There we go. And then you're just going to wrap this around, and I'm going to line up this long edge with the little short edge here and just glue my tab down. So the top of your little container is going to be round-ish. There you go. Okay, so now it looks like this. And then you're going to just start taking these other tabs and folding them in. I'm going to start one at a time. So I'm just going to fold one in, and you know what? I'm actually going to trim the corners off of these so they fit a little bit nicer inside. I didn't do that on the last one. And it works okay. At least I'll do it on the first one. Okay, so you're just going to push that down inside, and then you're going to add some adhesive here. So I think this one I am going to use the Tombow, just because it gives me a little bit more time to play around. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on that flap, and then I'm going to push the next one down. I might regret not doing the corners on this one, but it is what it is. And my biggest thing is I'm going to try and line it up so that this edge doesn't stick out too much over this edge. So that's where I may want to trim off a little bit later. You know what? I am going to do corners here. I'll just do the corners on all of them. Leave that last one for now and see what I think when I get there. Okay, so that goes down, and then I do the same thing, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a push from the inside to get it stuck a little bit. And that's where if you do decide to use the tear and tape, it'll stick a lot faster. All right, and then adhesive on this one. And stick it down. Yeah, and I don't need to worry about the corners on the last one. All right, and then that one folds down. Okay, and then again, I'm just going to kind of go in from the top and give it a little bit of a push down, burnish it a little bit. And there is my little pot. part's done. Let's get rid of my little scraps here. And then I'm going to work on the flowers. All right, so for the leaves and the flowers, I'll do the leaves first here. Just going to make sure all my little bits are punched out from the die cut. I've got most of them, one more on this piece. There we go. Okay, and then for these, I'm just going to use my Tombow adhesive. And this is a brand new one. I just opened it this morning, so I'm going to be really careful because I don't want to get a ton of glue. And I was on my retreat this past weekend. So I have not unpacked my little silicone mat yet that I usually use when I'm doing gluing on these little tiny pieces. So I might get it all over my workspace, but that's okay. All right, so just kind of line it up along the edge of your leaf and push it into place. I'm a little bit high here. There you go. And again, you could use a contrasting color if you wanted for the veining on the leaves. I got that one lined up very well. Try again on this one, see if I can get it a little bit better. Actually makes it nice with it being the same color. You don't notice that it's not super perfect for getting lined up here. All right, I'm looking at it. No, I did it the right way. The retreat, Leanne, it was good. It was good. I didn't get as much done as I probably could have. It was kind of a last minute thing for me, and I was busy the couple of weeks before it, so I wasn't really super organized with what I wanted to get done. So I did a few things. I made a few cards. I finished my magnet board kit, so that was good. I tried to actually, Sherry always does, we always get a bingo sheet with some challenges to do on it. So I actually spent a lot of time for this retreat working on the bingo sheet challenges. So I did some different things that kind of gets me out of my comfort zone a little bit doing stuff like that. So that was good, but it was just nice to get away. I went for a couple of long walks, and we did yoga on Friday and Saturday. A couple of the ladies, so that was good. It was kind of fun. We did upstairs where the rooms are at the retreat, where we stay. There's a long, narrow hallway, and it's got a slanted roof because it's in like a barn or an old barn. And so we were all lined up down the hallway on our mats doing yoga. So it was we were lots of giggling. It was a good break from all the sitting that you do when you're crafting all day. And yeah, it was nice weather. There was actually a couple of times when they opened up the crafting space downstairs has 4 big kind of like garage doors, and they've got a couple of them screened in. So we were actually able to open one of them a little bit, at least on a couple of the days, to let some of the fresh air in. So that was also really nice. And it's nice, the more you go to those things, you get to know the people that go all the time. So it's kind of fun because you get to, I guess, craft with people that you don't see all the time, but now you've gotten to know a little bit. So you can kind of catch up on what's going on. And what I love the most is all the different ideas. So Sherry always sets up a table. Right now, at least, when we have extra space, sets up a table at the back of the room. And as you complete your projects, you can go put them on the table so that everyone can see what you did. So there was some really, really, really beautiful things that people made. So it's great for inspiration as well as just crafting and getting away. All right, so I've got all the edges on the pansies. I've got the details on the leaves. So now I'm going to put them together. So the pansy, let me bring mine out again. So these two pieces are going to go in the back. So you can just kind of line them up, figure out how you want it to look, and then add your adhesive. So I'm just going to add a little bit on one of the edges here on the back, and then I can start to put my first piece in. There we go. I can do the same on the other side. I don't have that first one down quite as low as I want it. I may have to clean up some of the adhesive on this one. There we go. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, and then I'm going to take my beard. So this was the Blackberry Bliss piece. I'm just going to add that in here. And then my little mango dot here. And it goes right in the center, in the little hole here. And then I'll add my leaves on. I just kind of stuck them underneath. All right. The flower is done. Okay, and then I'm going to take the stem piece. So this is the 3/8 by 7 inches, and it is soft succulent. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing that I did with the box, is I'm going to take the bone folder and just give it a little bit of a curve. Focusing more on kind of the center bottom part. And then I'm just going to take the two ends, I'm going to fold it in half without the crease at the bottom. And I'm going to put some adhesive at the top here, on the inside. And I'm going to use the tear and tape for this as well. Just a little bit cleaner. I just put a little piece on. I'm going to give it a burnish. And then peel off the backing. And then I'm just going to stick those ends together. All right, that's there. And then this piece just sticks onto the back of your flower. You know what? And I'm going to use the tape again, just so it'll adhere a little bit faster. Okay, so I have my adhesive right here. I'm just going to stick my pansy on. There we go. And then I'm going to do one more thing I didn't do on the original box here. I'm going to add a little greeting. So I've got the little hello from the Timeless Tulip set. Whoops, I'm throwing things out of that. And one of the reasons that I chose to use this set of dies today is it is another one of the ones that is on sale right now. So the stamp set and the dies, that bundle is on sale as part of the sale Savings Are in Bloom promotion that's on right now. I'm just going to stamp that right in the center, and I got a little bit of extra ink, so I'm going to do it again. And I also haven't unpacked my little cloth yet. Now that I know that that's on there, I can just take it off. Hopefully that works. It looks like there's a little bit on the edge too. Okay, let's try that again. We'll go on the other end. That's better. Yeah, so from now till the end of the month, there's the mini stamp and emboss stamp, the mini emboss and cut machine, and a selection of bundles with, so that includes the stamps and the dies that will fit into that mini machine. And this is one of them. So they are on right now for 20% off. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to cut with my scissors here. So just a little tag, and I think I'm just going to stick that on the front of my basket. And I'll show you how to put it all together. And then I'll show you a couple of other, well, one other project that I created over the weekend using the this bundle as well. I maybe should have used the tear and tape on this one because it's curved and it doesn't want to stay down. So I have to hold it for a minute, let the adhesive stick. There we go. Okay. So now I can put it all together for you, and this is super simple. So I just took my Lindor, I kind of folded the ends in, and that goes inside the little loop on your flower. And then the whole thing just sits down into your little basket. So there we go. A little pansy treat. I thought that would be cute for a teacher for Mother's Day or a friend for Mother's Day, just something little, but very cute. All right, so that is that project done. I'll leave those two there. So if you're interested in any of those bundles or the little machine, you can use my host code here. Let me pull it down a little bit so you can see it. So this host code, so if you go to the tracyfrith.stampinup.net and follow the shopping link there, it'll take you to that promotion. You can look at the products that are available. And then the other project that I did, oh, before I do that, whoops, sneak peek. The other project that I did, I'll show you that one first, then I'll show you the tip. Over the weekend, just looking for something interesting to do, I found this one and I liked the layout. So I can't remember who I cased this from. I did find it on Pinterest. So I like the layout and the color of the base. This is, I believe, Gorgeous Grape is the card base color. I used the brick and mortar embossing folder here. And I think this is the contour, I can't remember, color and contour die set. I can't remember what the dies are called. But it's contour. Anyway, so it's got all of these scalloped dies. Or maybe that's what it is, scalloped. The scallop dies. Anyways, and then the pansies. And I did the pansies, I did the base, so the base of the pansy is all the same color. And I used the shimmery vellum for that. So this is the Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and the Fresh Freesia. And then for the outsides, I went, this one is the same. This is the Fresh Freesia. This one I did Calypso Coral, so it was a little bit of a contrast. And I believe this one was either Melon Mambo or Magenta Madness. They're both a little bit darker than the Polished Pink. And then you can see I used the contrasting colors on the leaf. So I used the Soft Succulent as the base, and the top was Evening Evergreen. So that was that one. I thought that was really pretty. I really love the shimmery vellum. I didn't want to use it on this project though, because you've got everything glued onto the back, so it would all show through. So that's that. Now I said I would show you a little bit of a trick if you want to make this a little bit easier. So if you didn't want to punch out all the little pieces and assemble your pansy, there are dies in your die set. So this large one, and there's a small pansy as well. And they fit really nicely around the pansies that are in the designer paper. So you could just simply die cut one of those pansies out and use that here instead. And there you can do the same with the leaves. There's a piece that has the leaves on it. And you can do the same thing with those. The die cuts fit those as well. All right. So just a little tip to make it a little bit easier if you have all of those things to use. Okay. And one other bit of news today is that today is the day that if you are a demonstrator, at 1 o'clock today, they will be releasing the new annual catalog, an electronic version, a digital version of it. So that'll be online today at 1 o'clock, and also a list of all the retiring project from the current annual catalog. So they call that the last chance list. So I will post the last chance list as soon as I have it. A lot of those items will go really quickly, but after, when they're gone, they won't be available anymore. So if there's anything you've got your eye on, now is a good time to get them because they will disappear. And then the new catalog goes live, I believe, next month for customers. So if you want to get your hands on that sooner, and you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, give me a shout. You can send me a message over Facebook or leave it in the comments, and I will contact you and let you know how you can go about doing that. And then you have access to the catalog. There's also a pre-order period coming up. And actually, I'm wrong. It doesn't go live next month. It goes live in May. Next month in April is the pre-order for demonstrator. So if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you have a selection of product from the new catalog that you'll be able to order ahead of time so that you can start playing with it and come up with new ideas and projects to show. All right, so some exciting stuff happening over the next month or so. All right, and again, these die bundles that are on sale right now are available till March 31st, so till the end of the month. All right, I hope everyone has a great rest of your week and enjoys the nice weather that we have right now. It's looking really, really beautiful outside these days, so get outside and enjoy some nice spring weather. And hopefully I will see you again next week.